Mr. G?
Alright, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm alright, I'm alright.
Okay, so far, how's everything going? How are you feeling here?
I feel pretty comfortable. I feel like I'm adjusting to the new middle school setting and like getting to know my kids, trying to build a relationship between them. So yeah, it's going good.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so after being in your class of serving, knowing the lesson that you put forward, so what are your feelings towards your lesson after having finished it? How do you think? How are your feelings?
I think that a lot of the lesson was kind of like not quite perfect to what I was expecting. Like I think I had it either like a little bit too high for some of my students or a little bit too easy for like the advanced class. So I'm having a harder time like adjusting to meet all the needs of my students right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what kind of I'm looking over my lesson and trying to adjust it to the next one so I can be more closer to their levels.
Okay. What were there any changes that you made on the fly? Like any decisions that you made as you were going through the lesson?
I think for that, because the way we had it, it was like two different groups. So with my groups, I felt like I was a little closer to what they could do, whereas my assistants group was struggling a little bit more because I think I had like the assignment I gave them was a little bit too much for them, and like they were struggling to get through it. So that would be something that would need to be changed, but at the time I didn't really have input on changing it because I had my assistant running that group.
Okay, I see. Even with challenges, do you feel like it was an effective lesson? Not all, obviously, not all lessons are perfect. It's really hard to get a lesson to be perfect 100% of the time, even 90% of the time. There's always little things, little tweaks, little things that happen as you go along. But do you feel that your lesson was still effective for what you were trying to convey?
I think it was effective for what I was trying to get across, and also because I have a better understanding of their skill level now, so I will be able to make the next lessons a little bit more accurate to what they can do.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Now, are you aware of the CSTPs?
Yeah.
Was there any one that you were like focused on for this lesson?
For this one, I was kind of focusing more on the environment. So like I just had a new student, and I was trying to get him adjusted to the classroom environment, trying to make him feel welcome, and like trying to help him build relationships with my other students.
Mm-hmm.
So that was more of okay, we're gonna be separated into groups, and I kind of did it in a way where the students are kind of closer to students of their skill level, so they would be having an easier time like making friends or like building relationships among each other.
So the main focus is the whole relationship building and interaction.
And also the classroom environment. I'm trying to like make it a little more positive for the students, make them feel a little more comfortable.
Okay, and this obviously being achieved through interaction, constant interaction with the students.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good idea. How about, okay, so now obviously you feel like it was a success. Can you elaborate a little bit more on why this was a success?
Well, for the most part, most of the students were able to do the assignment. Like, I wouldn't say they did it perfectly, but they were able to at least get the concept of, okay, we're gonna be doing, like, finding how much stuff is based on the menus and what they're supposed to be looking for. So they were able to identify like the prices and add them together. It's just that some of them like needed more prompting than some of the other students, or some of what I was expecting them to be.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a little bit more help than what I was hoping they would need.
So I think I have an idea of what you might answer for this one, but were there any surprises that you ran into? Anything that you weren't expecting?
I think the main surprise was just that one of my most high functioning student was not only able to get it done, but he also kind of came back and helped the other students finish their assignment by being like almost like their team leader.
Okay.
So that was not something I expected, and like seeing it makes me feel like, okay, he's adjusting to the new environment, and he's doing much better than what I was expecting him to be.
That sounds pretty positive. That's actually pretty amazing that one of your students is able to take lead and take responsibility and help other students. That's really good. Was there anything negative that you weren't expecting?
Negative, not anything other than the fact that there was a little bit too much for them. I think
Okay.
everything else was pretty not exactly surprising.
Okay, and then given your view and expectations of this lesson, is there anything that you might, I think you've mentioned a few things already, but is there anything you might do slightly different for a similar lesson, or just a completely different lesson that you might think might benefit from changes?
I think for the most part, I would like to have, like right now, I tried it with 2 different groups. I would like to have the opportunity to do maybe 3, so I can separate my students a little bit more based on their performance levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would be more effective than trying to get everything down into 2 different groups.
Nice, that's pretty good. Now, touching back a little bit on the support aspect, from the time that we spoke last time, are you still being supported? Do you feel like there's anything that you need right now, or anything that I can do?
For the most part, I think I would need a little bit more help. I would like to have another person in the classroom to assist with my student who is on the wheelchair. So I would have to keep moving him from across campus, and like doing that with just me and one assistant who is assigned to a one-on-one with a different student, it makes it a little harder. So I would like to have somebody to assist me with this student, like getting on and off the bus, taking him to the cafeteria. That's more of what I would need in terms of support.
Okay, I see. Now, before we end, like I said, I'm kind of looking a little bit into the next, your next visit. Is there something that you would like me to do differently? I know that as a coach, kind of just sit in the back and watch. Was that interfering with your lesson at all, or any suggestions that you might have for me? One, in terms of stepping into your classroom.
I think for the most part, like I do enjoy having somebody who can observe me and be able to tell me, okay, this is where you could improve. And I feel like even though you are my administrator, I feel like it would be more beneficial for me to have somebody from special ed who has like more experience than I do in this field,
Mm-hmm.
who would be able to see mistakes that I'm making that I can't see, or that you are not seeing either.
Okay, so have somebody else come in also with me with more of a special ed background.
Yes.
Okay, that's obviously reasonable. Okay, do you have any questions, any other concerns, or anything like that?
I think I'm good right now.
Okay, for now, this is all I got for you right now. Any other questions and stuff, we might get to talk about them later. But for now, this is it. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.